While loved by its community, Project Cars has never been a race leader. It leans towards the sim end of the racing game spectrum, but it's often put alongside Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo, games with substantial financial heft behind them and a lot more flash. But with its eyes on the prize, developer Slightly Mad Studios persists, moving up the grid with each new entry. And while the current pandemic prevents us from testing the game in person, we have seen some footage of Project Cars 3 in action, and we've spoken to some of the team to look at the changes that they hope will give their new game the racing advantage when it launches later this year. Annoyingly, we can't show a lot of the features discussed, basically because it's not in the B-roll that we've been provided. But this new footage that's been captured by the devs does show off 2 new tracks, Interlagos and Shanghai, so that's nice. It would also be nice if you subscribe to Rock Paper Shotgun for more moving images and spoken words about other PC games. Now, let's not waste any more time. Let's talk Project Cars 3. While Project Cars 3 still sits closer to sim than arcade racer, it has a friendlier structure to it that brings it closer to the popular Forza games. When you compete in one more time for those not paying full attention, any game mode, you're rewarded with XP and credits. We'll chat more about credits later on. Firstly, your experience points will bump up your driver's overall level, which will allow you to gain access to more cars in the showroom area. But from the early footage that we've seen, each car you take for a spin will also have its own level. So if you go around Fuji Speedway in an Evo TME and then again in an F50 GT, your driver's XP will increase after both races. But it looks like the levels of your cars will only rise if they are taken out of the garage. Accolades are returning with big XP dumps attached to long-term goals, but as I alluded to earlier, the game gives you pats on the back during races as well. That's because it isn't all about dousing your competitors in a little bit of the bubbly after the checkered flag's been waved. You won't be rewarded for driving through fences in the Scottish countryside, but there is a hint of Forza Horizon 4 in Project Cars 3. While it's not visible in this early beta footage, XP notifications were constantly popping in the gameplay that played during a separate presentation that we were able to watch. You get XP for a clean overtake, for gaining a position, for drafting, for blocking, for high speed. It honestly looks glorious. I'm confident this periodic praise will pale in comparison to a first place, but consistent reassurance that you're doing okay sounds magnificent. Who doesn't like to be told they're doing a good job? Your progression carries across all game modes too, which is sure to make those who split their time between career and online very happy. Project Cars has always encouraged players to tinker until they feel comfortable, so tuning steering or braking assists is nothing new, although dialing up or down the challenge here has a greater impact than ever before. This new XP system lifts the inexperienced, of course, but the elite will also be boosted. It's as simple as this. When you make the game easier, you'll see your XP modifier go down. When you make the game harder, you'll see the XP modifier go up. So if you set the AI difficulty and aggression to hard, you'll generally come out the other end with more experience points than the person who races against a calm and less skilled grid. And like previous entries, Project Cars 3 allows you to toggle on and off an array of assists that go much deeper than just the difficulty of your opposition. Any active ones will have a negative impact on your XP modifier, so seasoned drivers that choose authenticity over assistance will be compensated. To reiterate, this type of carrot dangling is beneficial to everyone. The game isn't shy about telling you the effect a proximity indicator or anti-lock brakes have on your bonus, so you may be more likely to ditch the support in favour of sweeter prizes over time. Marketing manager Joe Barron told me that the game won't actively nudge players into dialing up the difficulty because the studio does recognise that while some will want to test themselves, others will find their level and prefer to just have fun. Although if you do feel up to the task, there is now a reason to test your technique against tougher opposition. As is the case in all other areas of the game, the career mode, which director of production Pete Morris described as somewhat of a highlights package for all things Project Cars 3, is keen to encourage those who don't finish in first rather than punish. Within each event there are a few objectives that will dole out XP upon completion. Things like reach a top speed of 120 miles per hour, overtake 10 unique opponents and master 5 corners. There are still championship trophies to lift aloft, obviously, but these little wins were important to Slightly Mad. As you go from loser to Lewis Hamilton, you'll amass in-game credits, and these can be spent on unlocking invitationals that would otherwise require you to meet certain criteria, like 50 event wins using cars from the UK or 200 ticked off objectives. This delightfully gives you the freedom to jump ahead and play events that suit your playstyle more than others in your schedule might. Your development isn't tied to a specific championship or car. You're able to customize your path to glory. In fact, Project Cars 3 allows you to customize much more than that. For the first time in the series, you're able to upgrade parts of your car using the previously mentioned credits. Tune your motor for maximum performance and you'll see it shoot up the car class ladder, which means you're able to bring your beloved Civic Type R with you throughout most of your career. However, in the interest of realism, Slightly Mad said that you can't upgrade a road car to the point where it'll be competing against the top open wheel cars. That's a step too far. While this customization cutoff might upset anyone eager to take their Reliant Robin to the top, Slightly Mad is giving you full control over what your car looks like. You can change the colour, paint types, liveries and decals on the body, and you can change your tyres and rims, and you can even customise your licence plate. Previously, PC players were able to create custom liveries in Photoshop, but Barron told me that this functionality isn't on the cards at the minute. While it's something they're not ruling out for the future, they're keen to encourage people to use the in-game tool. Maybe a bit of a shame as the tool doesn't look as flexible as Forza's car painting magic. However, your designs are no longer confined to local races, which is why they want you to use the in-game tool. Your custom rides now carry across the entirety of Project Cars 3, so you can show off your Louvre level designs to others in online multiplayer, before you wipe the floor with them obviously. Speaking of online play, multiplayer is now split into quick play, scheduled event and custom lobby. Quick play is the option for those who don't want to mess about. Scheduled events, on the other hand, are longer races that have rule sets curated by the folks at Slightly Mad. And custom lobby is for those looking to create their own events. Possibly the best alteration to Project Cars multiplayer is the fact that matchmaking is now skill based. So the rest of the grid should challenge you and not absolutely murder you. A fantastic addition. Rivals mode is also new and boasts a multiplayer experience that caters towards those who may often be a bit hesitant about jumping online. This asynchronous multiplayer introduces monthly seasons with 3 different types of challenges: daily, weekly and monthly. It's not totally dissimilar to the community event seen in Project Cars 2, but it is certainly a bit deeper. As well as XP that you'll pick up along the way, you'll be rewarded Rivals points, depending on where you finish up once an event is over. Your total points will determine your monthly ranking in your division. Rather than a massive global leaderboard, the decision to split Rivals up into a tiered system was to give players an achievable goal. As Barron told me, the aim isn't to topple the best players in the world from the off, the aim is to beat those around you. And then if you're good enough, you can gain promotion after promotion and perhaps go on to become the next great esports star. But, you know, slowly catchy monkey. While your opposition won't be on the track at the same time as you, Slightly Mad has included dynamic ghosts in all Rivals events. This means that you'll be able to see the recorded runs of those closest to you on the leaderboard in real time. If the execution is as good as it sounds, I can see this really taking off. A concerted effort is being made to grab the attention of those who wouldn't normally play a Project Cars. Morris said that Slightly Mad is aiming to create a gateway for people that are interested in sim racing but don't know where to start. For example, he told me that they're aware many prospective players won't have a racing wheel, so tweaking gamepad handling was very important to them. At the same time, Morris was keen to point out that Project Cars 3 is still Project Cars, but in his words, bigger, better and more. Barron added that the studio was keen to capture the intensity of motor racing by adjusting here and there, which is why things like impact effects have been included and AI behaviour has been refined. But as we already mentioned, you're looking at B-roll because we haven't had the chance to play the game for ourselves. We're not 100% sure how Project Cars 3 will turn out, but we're definitely intrigued after hearing about its new features. What's got you excited to hop back behind the wheel? Rivals? XP? Customization? Let us know in the comments section below. If you like this video, then why not like this video by clicking on the thumbs up button? And if you want more Rock Paper Shotgun in your life, just hit subscribe and then ring that bell. That way you'll never miss anything RPS related in the future. Thank you very much for watching, you absolute star. We hope to see you again soon.